Hey everyone, it's Carissa Wiley at sprinkledwithglitter.com. Thanks for joining me today. Today I am sharing this adorable shaped card. It is so easy to create and it doesn't skimp on the sparkle. And today I'm featuring some brand new products from Pretty Pink Posh. Now this is their August 2025 release and I have created with this release last week, so you can check that video out. For today's project, I'm featuring the Trick or Treat Shadow Dies, which includes the word and the shadow dies, and the Fringe Pumpkin Dies. Now, you all have loved this series of Fringe dies from Pretty Pink Posh, and this, of course, is the adorable pumpkin. Now, here's a look at the color palette I'll be using today. I'm starting out with some brushed metallic white cardstock from Spellbinders. All of these colors are actually from Spellbinders. This white cardstock, it's really hard to see in the video, but it has a slight bit of shimmer to it. It's not a glitter, it's more of a shimmer, and it is so beautiful. I'm also using Bellini, Coral, and Carrot, and then I'll be using the brushed black cardstock from Spellbinders as well. So I have both the brushed black and the brushed white for this project. Now, when I'm creating with a lot of dies, I like to take and lay my dies out on the colors of cardstock that I'm going to die cut them from. I sort through all my dies this way, and then I start doing all of my cutting at once. So I'm going to start with the top of my pumpkin. That's going to be that brushed white. And then I'll work my way down in an ombre order with the Bellini, the Coral, and finally the Carrot. So this is the largest and the most solid portion of the pumpkin here that I'm die cutting from the darkest orange cardstock, the Carrot cardstock. And you can see that die cut beautifully. This brushed metallic cardstock has a bit of a coating, so it cuts nicely, but you do have to pull it out from that negative portion. Then I've die cut the other pieces of my pumpkin and I'm setting this all aside. Once I have the pieces of my pumpkin die cut, I'm also going to die cut my sentiment. And I'm die cutting the Trick or Treat words from the brushed black cardstock. Now for this cardstock, and when I'm using such an intricate die like this, I do like to cut into the clear cutting plate for my Empress, and I like to use a metal shim, and that makes sure I got a beautiful cut on all of those intricate words. For the shadow layers, I'm die cutting those from some vellum, and I'm going to set this all aside. Now, when you're working with something intricate like this, you'll want to make sure that you have like a little poker tool on hand. I die cut this a second time from some diamond glitter cardstock. So I'm going to add a little bit of sparkle to this sentiment, or I should say a little more sparkle to this sentiment, using a layer of this diamond glitter. I'm going to do a slight offset for these sentiments, and so I'm starting by adhering the glitter layer down onto the vellum shadow layer. This is going to be the easiest way for me to kind of offset these very thin dies. If I were trying to offset them without the shadow, it could be a little tricky. So I'm just laying down my base glitter layer onto the shadow. And once I have those onto their shadow layers, I'm going to add some liquid glue to the back of these brushed black cardstock layers and then lay them over the top of the existing glitter. Now, it can be a little tricky to adhere cardstock to a glitter layer, so make sure that you have enough glue, but not too much. And then I just recommend putting like a heavy block over those as they dry. Now I'm going to start assembling my pumpkin, and this comes together really quickly. I'm flipping over each layer and adding some liquid glue along the top of the layer. I'm making sure that I'm not placing any adhesive over the fringed portion because I want to be able to kind of fold those up in just a bit and create some dimension with the fringe. So I'll begin working my way down. I have adhered that brushed white metallic layer onto the Bellini layer, and then I'm layering that onto the Coral layer. And finally, I'll place this onto that largest, most solid piece, which is die cut from the Carrot. I'm just making sure that I align each of the tops of these layers and the sides to make sure that there's a nice clean edge. Now, once I have all of these cardstock layers in place, I'm going to just use my fingers to kind of fluff up all of the fringe. I'm kind of bending forward, and then I'll go through and bend some of them backwards as well so that there's varying kind of dimensions here. For this top layer, I'm using my little perfect picker tool to get under that fringe layer and making sure that I'm not pulling up the entire layer, but just kind of fluffing up that fringe. Now, I've used these fringe dies in the past to make shaped cards. I've made tags. I've also made a really fun little felt garland with these as well. And today I'm just using them again because I've loved these so much to create another shaped card for Halloween. Once I have my pumpkin placed together, I am going to use that largest, most solid layer, the same one that we die cut the carrot cardstock from, to die cut 2 additional pieces of heavyweight white cardstock. And I also die cut the stem from some Concord and 9th artichoke cardstock. So now I have my front and my back pieces for my card. I'm going to take the one that will be on the back and place it into my scoring board and score at 1/2 inch. This is going to create a tab along the left side of that piece, and I can fold it back and forth. This is going to be the back of my card and the part that allows the card to open. I'm going to add some strong double-sided adhesive to the tab. I'm making sure that I don't cross that score line. And once I have that adhesive in place, I'll remove the backer and line up these 2 white layers to create my card base. I'm just using my work surface to make sure that all the layers are kind of lined up. When you're working with a double-sided adhesive like this, it adheres really quickly, so you want to make sure you're placing it in the right spot. And now I have a pumpkin-shaped card base. It's so cute. I'm going to take my stem and add a little bit of liquid glue to the base of it and add it right to the top of the card base so that it's nestled between the card base layer and the colorful fringe layers on top. Once I have my stem in place, I'm going to add some liquid glue to the back of my assembled fringe pumpkin and place that directly on top of the card base. And then I can start adding my sentiment. Now, I did add some small strips of foam adhesive to the back side of the sentiments where it would be kind of disguised by the double layers of die cut sentiments there. And I'm placing this onto my pumpkin. So just a little layer of foam adhesive to help it sit up a bit. I think this looks really adorable with that treat on that straight angle and having these other words kind of angled and a little bit wonky. I also use my reverse grip tweezers to help me place those down onto the card. Now I'm adding a few sparkling clear confetti pieces just to add a bit more sparkle. And it was at this point that I realized that this was a pretty good size for a gift card. Now, it's not perfect. It sticks out a little bit, but I think this would be a great way to give a gift card for Halloween. I'll show you it kind of placed in horizontally as well. It does stick out that right side there, but I think it works. I don't know. You could use this as a pocket on a card front as well. I finished this card off by adding some twine and some metallic thread to the top. I ended up trimming that down, but that's a really simple, easy way to make a shaped card for any occasion. And you could do this with any dies you may have. Now, I did want to show you this pumpkin in relation to an A2 size card base. So that white piece of cardstock is A2 size, and this fits perfectly on there. So if you just want to place this fringe pumpkin onto an A2 size card, it works well for that. So there you have it, a really fun and simple shaped card project with plenty of sparkle for Halloween. I absolutely love this series of fringe dies from Pretty Pink Posh. I have enjoyed creating with them throughout the various holidays for this last year, and I hope you've enjoyed seeing the different projects that I've created with them. Now, as always, I will have links to the featured products used in this project in the description at YouTube. So if you're looking for something in particular, be sure you check there, or you can head on over to my blog at sprinkledwithglitter.com. Over there, I'll have more still shots, more information, and a complete list of supplies. Don't forget to join me over on Instagram today. This project is a part of an Instagram hop celebrating this brand new release from Pretty Pink Posh, and there are prizes to be had. So check the YouTube description below for a link to my Instagram and join me there. As always, I want to say thanks so much for stopping by and hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this project, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications here so you don't miss any of my card making, paper crafting, and live stream video tutorials. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.